especially with entrepreneurship, you get told a lot of the same advice of kind of don't give up, persevere, and all of it is true. But I do get a lot of feedback from my peers and youth who tell me, they're like, Kelly, is it always that like glass half full and rose-colored glasses? Is it really just sticking to it and you're gonna make it? And so what I like to do with panels is be very candid and real and talk about some of the things you don't always hear about in conversation. May not be as flashy, but they're often more practical and tangible for the audience. So to start off, before I actually go too deep, I'll let you maybe I gave it an intro, but maybe allow you to elaborate a little bit more. So if each of you could maybe explain, you both are kind of multi-sector and you have your hands in a lot of pots. But how did you get started and like how did you end up where you are right now? I think it's always interesting to find the origin of the journey and why you're doing what you're doing.
No, I'll go to echo it.
All right, you echo my China, okay, path and journey, that sounds fabulous, in particular as you're from Cape Breton and from Germany, there's so many similarities. So, my current role, I just go fast, it's not forward, but entirely many years back. I have a background in film and philology. I studied with a BA in political science in Germany, did my master's degree at the University of Houston, right? So I did it in Texas. Met my Israeli husband on a morning walk. The walk has been as long as 26 years now, so it's absolutely amazing. And we moved to Israel, and I ended up in the IT industry because I met a headhunter, introduced myself, and they said, Ulrike, with your attitude and languages, and you're just a go-getter, you need to be in IT. And I said, okay, I tried. And then fast forward, that has gone well. So I started in '93. I'm still in the IT sector, leading the IT and Digital Tech Association of Nova Scotia, Digital Nova Scotia. Now, that wasn't always a pretty place. 7 years ago, when one board director approached me and said, Ulrike, could you help us revive the organization? With the same actually view on your doer, and it looks like you don't mind taking risks and embrace challenges and see challenges and opportunity. I said, yes, I believe in the future of digital literacy for all, as well as more women, girls in IT, immigrants, indigenous groups, underrepresented, the unemployed and underemployed, Black youth, and so forth, and we built a lot of programming around it. The first years were really tough because if you rebuild an organization that has never had staff and was losing a little bit on certain levels credibility, and actually as a non-for-profit reputation and credibility are pretty much all you have. So eventually I built a team. I have a team of 8 now, including a student. We have 3 lovely staff members who are all in the 20s, and it's around the 30s, and then there's the office manager and me, and we're 31, not just anyways. So we're just definitely far along there. But this is how I actually came to Digital Nova Scotia in a nutshell. I seek out challenges. I really love challenges and turn them into an opportunity, but I need to believe in it. And this goes back to my mantra because I took many risks in my life. I moved 6 different countries. That is a risk every time you start a new life. And but then it's up to me to turn it into something beautiful. And I wake up in the morning and you can make a choice. It's going to be a bad or a good day. And I always prefer to see it positively and good. And I do believe that things happen for a good reason. And so thank you very much for having me here as well, Kelly. And this is why I am where I am today. And the journey has only just begun. Thank you. Now over to you, Craig.
Everything she said. There is a common theme, actually, that if you look at where you started from an undergrad perspective, where I started from an undergrad perspective, you would not predict there is no straight line. So my undergraduate degree is actually in analytical chemistry, so go figure. And how that came about is probably one of the defining features, is that being raised in Glace and being raised by a school teacher and a nurse, it was, you know what, you're smart, you're going to university, you were told that at a very young age. And in my house, there was two paths. There's two things you study at university. And there's much more than that, but I was told there was two. And there was sciences and arts. Guess which one you're not allowed to do, and we will pay for it. So I ended up with a science degree. And I can distinctly remember graduating from Acadia with my Bachelor of Science and crossing the stage at University Hall with my diploma in my hand, going, what the hell do you do with this? Managed, because it was the 80s, to find work in the environment sector, worked on lab benches and all of that stuff for a few years. And then realized my passions were elsewhere. So, you know, my commitment to lifelong learning is just that. There's always something to learn. So I was working in the lab here in Halifax. I went into my boss's office and I said, I want to be on the business side. I don't want to learn anything else on the lab bench side. It's not my passion, but I want to be on the business side. I left there, and then there was this lab back in my hometown that was part of the university and was failing. And I decided I wanted to go back and run this failing operation at the university. And it was a wonderful opportunity. And it was a wonderful opportunity because the university was kind of at that point where they said, this thing is a mess. So we'll give you a shot, because you can't make this any worse than it possibly is. Like this, it'll only get better from here. And gave me enough work paying myself. Turned it around, then they said, that's great that you turned it around, but you making a profit inside the university, that's not a good thing because it's net zero for us. Where's the game? Oh, okay, we'll privatize it. So we privatized it. And then I decided I wanted to go do something else, so I started joining startups. Had family, moved to Halifax, and then CEED came up. And when I was being interviewed for CEED, they had been, it was kind of like going back to that lab. They had been through all kinds of turmoil for probably about a decade. And they were hiring a new CEO. The CEO they had was this talented employee from McCullough, who was going back to McCullough. The CEO prior to that was removed. So the board was pretty touchy about the next CEO. And they put me through a selection process, and I'm pretty sure after getting hired at CEED, I can go work for CSIS now. Because they vetted me every way they possibly could. And it got to the end of this very grueling process. And the interview was 2 hours long. At the end of the 2-hour interview, we were there an hour before, and they said, we're going to do a presentation at the end of this thing. So they do 2-hour interview. They do a presentation. So by the time this is all said and done, we get to the point where now you can ask questions. I had nothing. Didn't know what I was going to ask. So I went to canned set of questions you ask in that situation. What keeps you moving? And they said, sustainability. And I must have made a face because the board chair said, doesn't look like you believe us. And I said, I believe you that, I think you believe that's a problem. But I believe the issue is that you're not providing value to the customer. And sustainability is not going to be an issue if you actually provide value to the customer. So this led to a fairly heated debate. First time I've ever been to a job interview where we had a debate with the board of directors. And I went home and my wife asked me how did it go, and I said, well, I'm either hired or I'm barred from the building. I don't know which one it is, but they ended up phoning me a couple weeks later and said, we'd like you to take this on. And when they asked me why do you want to take it on, I said, well, it's kind of the culmination of everything that I've done. I love working with entrepreneurs. I think they're wonderful, wonderful people. But I also like consulting. And I've got bad business ADD, and working in an organization that, deals with upwards of 1,000 clients a year, I have a lot of things that I can just go, okay, I'll go off and follow my shiny thing. But I think the thing that really made this work for me, and why I am where I am, is it's really about finding a team and a group of people that you just enjoy being around so much that can accomplish so much together. And every time I've looked at a point in my career where I've said, okay, it's time to switch, it's because the team wasn't right anymore. Teams sometimes have a limited lifespan. But, there was, I hate to use cliches, but there's that old cliche that if you do the thing you love, you're going to work a day in your life. And that's really the thing that keeps me going at CEED, because there's no one to do. So yeah, that's why I am where I am.
Thank you. Well, I always like to ask that question because what I find is every entrepreneur innovator never has a straight path. I started in biomedical science. I do media and speaking. It's very true. Usually, I find the common themes is, to your point, you follow what you have a North Star. Usually, as much as varied your pathway is, there's usually some consistency or one constant in that path that takes you, whether it's a pull, it is an issue you're really focused on, a type of role, or a situation in the business. You always come into a business, like you said, that's maybe on the downfall that you want to rebuild up. There's always something that's a constant. And if you can identify what your North Star is, you don't necessarily need to know what your pathway is. Over half of young people across Canada are concerned that the field of study that they're in and the skills that they're learning won't be applicable by the time they graduate or enter the workforce. It's a big concern of the uncertainty that we have, but if we understand that really, we look at it a lot. No one's path is ever really as linear as what we're told it should be when we're preparing for our careers. And I would say the one thing, I've been asked a lot of like, what makes an entrepreneur versus, and first I would say, we're moving into an era where you can be an intrapreneur just as much as an entrepreneur. There's so many large enterprises, companies, small to medium-sized businesses that need innovation internally. So all because you want stability within an organization doesn't mean you have to forego innovation. You can certainly still use an entrepreneurial mindset and benefit regardless if you want to take on all the risks of starting your own business and having it all on your shoulders and the stress and sleepless nights that come with that. But I'd say the one thing that I've learned that is common, and I would know from your experiences, is that it seems to be, it's those who take initiative. When you see a problem, an entrepreneur's mindset is when you see a problem, you don't say, that needs to get fixed, someone should fix that. You take the initiative to like, I will fix that. You don't wait around for someone else to fix it. And I think that's really the characteristic or that entrepreneur dream, if I was to define one, would be the personal responsibility and the initiative to take ownership to want to solve a problem. So with that being said, if both of you have had that in your careers and have solved multiple problems, what would have been, could you explain maybe a challenge that because it's not always easy, how you approach that challenge, or looking back maybe in hindsight, and advice or something that you wish you would have known when faced with that challenge initially? Because challenges can be daunting, but in hindsight, is there anything that would have helped you during that situation?
Looking at the audience, I see a lot of different cultures, which I think is beautiful and wonderful. And I would like to share a story. It is a lot about storytelling. When as an immigrant you come to a different culture, a new culture, it will be different because it's not your culture. So coming to Nova Scotia, a challenge and how I overcame it is I had to actually learn how to tell my story. And what I mean by this is I had to adjust to the culture and the target audience, whether it was the company, whether I was talking to academia, government, and changed the wording and the tone and even the style. It was all about intercultural learning. And my story, you talk about nonlinear. Not everyone follows easily a nonlinear career. I was told, Ulrike, you've been hopping jobs and careers and countries, and we were Germany and the US, and then you were in medtech and startup. And so we don't know where to put you. You are so diverse, you are actually not really employable in Nova Scotia. So I thought, okay, this is a challenge. I would love to be employed and would like to stay here. So I had to shape my story differently and find actually in a non-linear career path some linearity. And you referred to what connects the dots. And I connected the dots on behalf of the audience I was speaking with, which is, I love to turn challenges into opportunities, and I don't take any risk. I do take calculated risks because you have to be very careful and mindful. I love to look into the future and say, what are the trends, and be proactive about it and not reactive, so I can help, foresee, and not fix a problem, but actually try to avoid it. That doesn't work all the time. It doesn't always work very well either. But I think this is one story or experience I like to share with anyone, whether you move provinces or jobs or come to a new culture. Focus on who is in front of you. Ensure you have very strong listening skills as well. They are so important, not only to communicate and to speak at or to a person, and shape your story every time differently. And eventually let me enter the workforce. My first job was actually the German professor with Mount Sinaiticus University. I haven't been in Germany for quite some time. I just speak with my kids. I don't think I would be a German professor anymore, as my German friends tell me by now. That either I have an accent or make mistakes, and I do not want to teach those. I do have an accent in any language by now, actually, so because you can hear it now. But the storytelling, this is something, a challenge I overcame, and I didn't find it easy though. And in the other element I like to add is, while you tell your story, I have to adjust my style as well. I grew up with a very direct approach in Germany. You have a thought, you get very inspired to put critical thinking forward and don't wrap it in a pink bow, put it on a table. That I learned that doesn't really work in every culture, and I couldn't bring my message across that way. In order to communicate successfully and effectively, I just had to step back a little and still bring that message across, just with a little bit more effort, I guess. Yeah.
If I was to think back and say, what was the piece of advice or thing that I wish I had realized earlier, it would be, you will be unable to accomplish the things you want to accomplish if you spend too much time listening to the evil person in your head that says you can't. In my formative years, I was very introverted, and I was always, I would always talk myself of the challenge. And that continued right through to university. But then, in my final year at Acadia, just before I graduated, I met the woman who, to this day, is my life partner and the greatest person in the world that I could have ever possibly met. To say, dude, what's your problem? you have the talent. Go and do it. And I can totally remember that. I graduated, I got a job, I was doing the safe thing. And I don't know what twigged Michelle. And she hasn't stopped from the point where she started doing this. At that point, it was pre-internet, so you looked for jobs in paper. And she came to me and she said, here's this ad. And the ad in the paper said, we're looking for a yellow chemist to do this. And be lab manager. They did a great job, but it had no company name on it. It was blind. That sounds great, Peter. They could also be asking me to go cook meth. I could have been multiple, And she said, no, you're going to go apply for this job because you can do this. And I did. I applied for it. I went to it was a startup, and they were looking for somebody who could be a chemist. And it was a great opportunity. And she pushed me to take this opportunity that ended when I was, I was 25 years old, and I was given a budget, an empty room, and a goal. And said, now go do this, because we, the company, have no clue what goes on in the laboratory, so you really got it. Go do that. And that did two things. One of them is it was a reasonable success. But the other thing was, so I felt pretty good. But the other thing it did was, because it was a reasonable success, now my wife thinks, I know how to push this guy. So anytime Michelle constantly pushes me, and I go, yeah, I think it's wonderful. You think I'm that talented, but I'm really not. Go do it anyway. And the lesson that I learned in all of that was I didn't waste so much time talking myself out of stuff. I probably could have accomplished things much earlier. And over the course of that time, I've also learned that failure doesn't kill you, which if you had told 18-year-old me that, I would say, I'm the guy that lost my mind when I got 75 on that test. So it's, it really is, if there was a challenge, if there was an advice around challenging yourself, particularly with younger people, it sounds trite, but like Nike slogan, just do it. Stop talking, just do it. And interestingly, I was having a conversation with one of my partners today that we're looking at, we're trying to cooperate on something. That's all I was saying, will you just make a decision and do it? And that would be the biggest thing advice that I would give to a young person is challenges are only there. They're like obstacles in your way. And you can stand there and you can stare at that all you want. It's like a chain. The only decisions to be made are around it, under it, over it, through it, but staring at it is not the way to do it in the sometimes.
I love that. Definitely, from my experience, I've learned that doubt is your greatest limitation. Self-doubt in particular. You're your own greatest obstacle, oftentimes. you can see it as other things and factors, but at the end of the day, it does come down to how you react, how you respond, and where you go from there. I like the thing staring at a won't do anything. It's like when you try to make it go invisible or something. Mind power. I really like that because it's very true. And so through your journeys, and you've explained a lot about how you started and where you kind of swerved and how you got there. Another challenge that I always hear is, so what if on another spectrum, you know what you want to do, you're working on it, how do you take it to that next level? How do you create something sustainable? And I don't mean sustainable in terms of, in my environmentally friendly, I mean sustainable as in it's operational, it can stay around, it can grow, and really bloom into something.
I learned how to be polite, so I wanted to.
Oh, it has nothing to do with what time I think about it.
Right. I'm a very honest person. No, it doesn't. So I go here again. So my belief is, and it always has been, I actually, when you mentioned STEAM in my bio, the power of people is the team in STEAM. And I always highlight that the team and people are everything. In order to be sustainable, thinking from a digital and social perspective, everything comes down to the people who are there. To make it sustainable, they need to be listened to, they need to be heard. There are professional development opportunities, collaboration. Sometimes certain dispute and conflict are actually great for critical thinking and finding a solution using different perspectives. Instead of saying yes all the time, and I tell my team, please challenge me all the time, because I can be wrong most of the time. I hope not all of the time, but please tell me, because no one can improve if you're not being told in a respectful manner, and constructive criticism is important, I find. So there's the team to be. In order to grow the organization, you need personal growth. So as much as you grow your projects in terms of Digital Nova Scotia, our industry member base, and technologies in terms of looking at the trends and how we can perhaps combine startups with multinationals and implement and share the technology and technology transfer and transferable skills. The sustainability element comes into that the team personally and professionally needs to grow. And then, yes, as also non-for-profit, it is finances. So how are you financially sustainable? So you look into different revenue streams and opportunities while always keeping your mission and vision and your mandate to stay true to it. So my goal for sustainability is very value-based. It's not, there is money and I just better get it and implement it. Does it really feed into the cause and support the cause, and in a very ethical way? If not, I gladly pass along any, let's call it RFP or opportunity, to a partner such as CEED, and say CEED is much better suited for it, has the experience, the network, and all the very good things that we don't have. So sustainability, in addition to the team, the operation of the projects, and the community you serve, is then the partnerships. Because I think we're all very small in terms of organizations, and not only the size, it's the expertise. It's again the different perspective that partners bring, nationally as well, and also globally. Partnerships, I always think the better Nova Scotia is the better Canada, and the better Canada can be better world, and we can be and are already global leaders. So from that aspect of sustainability. And not to forget, while I give my team the opportunity for professional development and growth, I need to grow as a leader and be very self-aware where I need to grow and be very open to it.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, thank you.
I am going to echo a lot of what was just said. I think for me, when I started off on a path of a challenge that I'm trying to operationalize, you get certain nuggets of advice as you go through life. And one of the best pieces of management advice I've received from my dad, who's a business manager. In my first management job, he was a high school principal, so he lead the team. And my first management job, he sat me down and he said, you need to understand the following, that unless you're having a staff meeting and a management meeting and a board of directors meeting, all at the same time while you are shaving in the morning, then you better learn how to work with people. And because there are very few things that you can do on your own. And I think when I think of sustainability issues all come down to people. Markets are about people. And markets don't buy technology, they buy solutions to problems. And people have problems. Teams are what make things run. And I think the reality for any challenge that I've ever had in my career where I tried to climb a mountain, it was never by myself. It was always with the greatest assistance by people